Welcome back. It's Dr. Jen Boney, better known as DocJenFit, your doctor of physical therapy. And I want to go over 3 quick exercises that you can do if you start to notice that your hand is going kind of tingly or numb, especially when it's in certain positions. So we're not talking about work necessarily, because that's probably more carpal tunnel, which we have videos on that. However, this is more related to what's called thoracic outlet syndrome. And if you've been diagnosed with thoracic outlet syndrome already, or TOS, you have it, then I would take a listen to our podcast episode that we did where we go into a lot more detail about what thoracic outlet syndrome really is and what you should be paying attention to. But today, I just want to talk to you. If you start to notice that you're getting any numbness or tingling when you're doing your hair, when you're washing your hair, if you're doing certain exercises, especially pressing overhead, and you just start to notice that your hand maybe feels like it's losing sensation or it's not getting enough blood flow to the area, this could be a signal that we're having thoracic outlet syndrome. And I just want to go over, some quick exercises that you can start doing now and start paying attention to on a daily basis that can really help to reduce some of these symptoms. So the first one that we're going to go over is more of where are we breathing from. This is always the baseline of where I'm taking people, because it is so incredibly important to pay attention to how we're breathing throughout the day in order to reduce, overuse of some of these muscles around our neck. We should really only be using what are called our accessory muscles to help assist breath if we're going out and doing sprints or a long run or really hard exercise. Then we might be utilizing these neck muscles to help assist. But if they're working all day long, they could be causing some tightness and compression on some of those nerves that are coming out all the way down to your hand, which is where you can start to feel some different symptoms, especially when you start to use your neck or put extra pressure there. So I want to first address how we're breathing. Now, rather than just, let me put my hands on my belly and do some big belly breaths, I really want to make sure that we're getting a 360-degree breath from our rib cage, because it's our diaphragm resting underneath our rib cage that needs to move. So we need this expansion from our rib cage to get that good diaphragmatic breath, not just the belly. The belly is relaxing and it's just going along for the ride, but it's not a forceful belly breath. Okay. So one of the ways I like to find this is actually from another physical therapist, Julie Wiebe, who I absolutely adore. And she talks about this ski jump position. Now, this is a little complicated and we're just going to go over it really quickly. But if you were to look in front of a mirror and just relaxing, feet underneath you, kind of lean forward into your toes, you want to make sure that you're not kind of lifting up against it, but you just want your top of your body to just, if it goes forward a little bit, it goes forward, just wherever it naturally goes. If you lean forward into your toes, and then take a really deep, big inhale for me here. You might notice that you have a lot more space and capacity to now feel the back start to open up as you breathe. So again, I'm going to lean forward into my toes, and you can kind of notice that my rib cage starts to shift a little bit forward over my pelvis. And then when I take a breath in, I can really feel the back of my rib cage starting to expand and open. Then I try to keep that breath here as I come back over my feet, and I see if I can create that same expansion. And it feels so good to get a more lateral and this big 360-degree breath movement rather than this vertical breath movement. So when we take deep breaths in, try to pay attention. Am I lifting my rib cage up, or am I expanding front, back, side to side on my rib cage? And this is just a good cue that you can use throughout the day to kind of see if you're brushing your teeth, lean forward, take a breath in, see where you're breathing from more so throughout the day, and you can start to rebuild this pattern and this neurological connection within your brain. Okay, quickly, 2 exercises that I want you to start doing on a regular basis is going to be a wall pec stretch. This is one of my favorites, especially because you can do it anywhere that you have some free wall space, or even like at least some doorway space. Okay. And this is something that anyone can do. You get up out of your chair. It helps you to move more throughout the day. Or if you, especially like hairdressers who are working on people all day long, find some wall space and do this pec stretch and this median nerve glide that we're going to go over as well. So you're going to have your inside leg forward, and I want you, it's not a big lunge. It's just a tiny little step. You tuck the tailbone under. So we're going to kind of try to lock out the pelvis here. And we only want to move from the upper body. Now I'm going to take my arm and swing it across the wall until I feel that shoulder blade kind of drop and relax, and bend, give a little bend in the elbow as well. And then I'm just going to, keeping my shoulder blade down and relaxed, I want to try to turn my sternum or my chest away from the wall until I feel a stretch in the front of my chest. I want to make sure that shoulder does not roll forward. So we want to keep that shoulder back and relax. You can always move the arm down a little bit. If you're like, I don't feel that stretch in the front of my chest, move that arm down. Or if you feel like your hand is starting to go numb or tingling, getting those sensations right away, definitely drop the hand all the way down and then rotate and take 5 slow, deep breaths, thinking of expanding from that whole rib cage up into that shoulder and that chest area. So breathing from this low rib cage all the way up into that chest area, and then a slow exhale. If your hand goes numb or you start losing sensation before the 5 breaths, just go ahead and drop your hand and then reset. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side. So that inside leg is forward, little bend. We're pretty close to the wall. And then you just sweep across. If that's too much, you can always find where on the wall you're feeling like you get the most stretch right in that front of the chest. So it's right here in the front. We want to make sure it's not necessarily right on the shoulder. So keeping that shoulder down and relaxed is really important. That shoulder blade kind of pulls into your spine. The last one that we're going to do is starting to address the nerves. We want to make sure that the nerves have good flow between our tissue and can move when we move our arm in different positions. We don't want it getting stuck anywhere along the way. There's many ways to do median nerve glides. Since we're already at the wall, we're going to use that one. You're going to place your hand at the wall and then start to move away from your hand and just start to rotate. So my hand is on the wall and I'm going to start to extend my arm slowly, keep my shoulder down and relaxed. And once I feel tingly pressure into my hand, I'm going to come right back in. So again, I'm going to open just until I feel a little sensation and come back in. And I'm just going to do that 10 times. So it's not about holding. It's just about starting to move, feel that sensation, and then coming out of it. Just straighten your arm as much as you can. If you don't feel like you have that full range of motion or you can't rotate away that far, you can always move. You can always adjust your positioning. So you can move a little bit further forward. You can move out to against the wall. So wherever you feel that sensation going down into your fingers, typically you're going to feel it right along these 3 fingers. Once you feel that sensation, you back right out of it. Make sure you're doing nice, slow, relaxed breathing, still working on that 360-degree breath, and take that into everything that you start to do. And over time, you're going to start to notice that you hopefully are reducing some symptoms. This is just a first step. Obviously, there's so much more that we can do when it comes to understanding movement patterns, making sure that we're not really overutilizing our upper traps in all movements that we do. So understanding how to better use our shoulder blades, our upper back, and our shoulders is really helpful when it comes to thoracic outlet syndrome. And if you want a program to follow, we do have a neck and upper back plan in Gen Health that takes you through a daily plan. It's only 8 to 15 minutes a day of what exactly to do to start to rebuild this patterning within your body so you can go work out and feel amazing within your body. Don't forget, if you love what you're learning, I have so much more in stock for you. So hit that subscribe button, check out the other videos I've done in the past, and leave any comments of any suggestions that you have for videos in the future. And I can't wait to help you feel incredible and amazing within your body.